Hi guys, I'm Mario Frado and this is Making the Case. I just want to give a quick shout out to Brandon Tatum. He recently pinned one of my comments to his video on YouTube and it's gotten me a lot of new subscribers. I'm well over 3,000 subscribers. If you guys don't watch Brandon Tatum, I highly suggest you check him out. He's one of the most real guys out right now and he has some great information. So Kanye West has announced he's running for president. Now, this might come as a shock to some people, but it really doesn't to me and probably to a lot of you guys as well. Kanye West always seems like he's been looking for attention. If you remember back with Hurricane Katrina, he said George Bush hates black people. Then I think back in 2009, when Taylor Swift had won that MTV award, he took the mic from her, and that was controversial. And then a lot of people believe that he was actually supporting Donald Trump just to get attention. Now, I do believe that his support of Donald Trump was sincere. However, I think him now saying he's running for president might just be for attention as well. So we'll have to wait and see if this is legit or if he's really just pulling another stunt. Now, Kanye said that the reason that he was supporting Donald Trump is because he thought that the Democrats really weren't supporting black people and he didn't like the idea of black people not being allowed to think for themselves and that they always felt obligated to vote for Democrats when there was possibly a better option. But the real question right now that everybody has is, if Kanye does run, who is this going to impact more? Is he going to take votes from Trump or is he going to take votes away from Joe Biden? I personally think that Kanye is going to take more votes away from Joe Biden than from Donald Trump. Now, you can start by asking the question of who was the first choice for each side. Now, ever since Trump started running, he was getting 20, 30, 40% in the polls just during the primaries. So he had a pretty large base of support. And now Trump has over a 90% approval rating within the Republican Party. Contrast that with Joe Biden, who only got 5% of the vote when he was running in the New Hampshire primary when there was actually another choice. So over 90% of Democrats wanted anybody but Joe Biden. So his support really isn't that solid. And if presented with an alternative, I think Kanye might be somebody they'd look at. You have to imagine that the main reason that most people who were supporting Kanye, they were doing it because he was supporting Donald Trump. But if Kanye's no longer supporting Donald Trump, then he's not going to carry those Trump supporters with him. Now, with Joe Biden, a lot of his black voters in particular weren't interested in Kanye West because he supported Donald Trump. But now that he's not, and Kanye's actually black compared to Joe Biden, who's an older white man, he might actually be able to skim away some of that support. I truly believe that most black people who are voting for Joe Biden are doing it because they believe that Donald Trump is a racist. The media's pushed that narrative, and the left's been pushing that narrative. And even though they probably believe that Joe Biden's a little racist too, or at the very least, he said some controversial statements, they can't go over to Donald Trump. So if they're looking for any sort of alternative right now, I think Kanye West could be that guy. Now, if Kanye West can find a way to expose the racist past of Joe Biden and some of the statements he's made, the laws he's passed, and some of the positions he's held, then he could really do some damage to Joe Biden. And imagine if somehow Kanye West meets the polling requirements to get into this fall's debates. That could be some serious entertainment. The Democrats and their media allies are losing their minds right now that Donald Trump has commuted the sentence of Roger Stone. I personally think this was a great move on Donald Trump's part. He said from the beginning that the Mueller probe was a hoax and that the Democrats were just conducting a witch hunt. So letting Roger Stone go to jail over something that Donald Trump said wasn't legitimate would be a mistake. This was a way to show that he truly believed that this was a hoax and there was just a Democratic conspiracy that was aimed at bringing him down, and he wasn't going to let that happen. Roger Stone has been a great friend and loyal supporter to Donald Trump, and rather than make up lies like Michael Cohen to try and get a break, Stone stayed loyal to Trump. Not to mention, Roger Stone's trial was a complete miscarriage of justice. The jury foreperson, I believe her name was Tamika Hart, was posting on social media about Roger Stone's case, and she was also retweeting posts supporting a conviction for Roger Stone. She had no business being on this jury. She was a Democratic activist, so she really should not have been there, let alone the jury foreperson. It really was a brilliant move on Trump's part to commute Roger Stone's sentence on a Friday night. It got the Democrats all riled up and it made it look like he was trying to be secretive about it. Obviously, this was going to be front page news. They're now comparing Donald Trump to Richard Nixon. I think the New York Times put out a piece actually saying that Donald Trump is worse than Nixon now. So this was great. It caused a Democratic meltdown. And Roger Stone can now go home to his family and he can sit on the couch and watch the Democrats self-destruct like the rest of us have been. And one last thing on this. Robert Mueller supposedly wrote an op-ed condemning Donald Trump's decision to commute Roger Stone's sentence. And that's really funny because if you saw Robert Mueller testify, you would know that it's impossible that he wrote an op-ed. At this point, I think it's easier to believe that Joe Biden's writing his own tweets. So nobody believes that Robert Mueller wrote anything. He's a sore loser. Things didn't work out his way. And now he's burnt in trying to get back at Donald Trump. But it's not going to work. Guys, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.